Reddit. This place never seems to get old. The more I search on this platform, the more I find posts that prove the reality of the world. Today we'll be taking a deep dive on a post that I found about a Redditor who asked for help about a missing coworker on the RBI subreddit.
This is their story.
On November 8th, 2022, at 12:15 p.m., a Redditor of the name iMegan would make a post on the RBI subreddit asking for help about their missing coworker. Their post is as follows. I think my coworker might be missing. My coworker and I are in different departments and buildings, so I don't see her and we don't talk really. We have a lot of comments, so we are friendly and chat once in a blue moon via work email. We talked about hanging out, but it just didn't happen due to poor scheduling. But we are friends on Facebook and we like/comment on each other's posts pretty often. We also have each other on Skype that automatically makes you available and tells you the last time you logged onto the company systems. I noticed she hadn't logged onto the system at work for about 2 weeks and figured she was taking another one of her frequent out-of-country trips. She always checked in online for her trips and would still continue to post daily, multiple times on social media. She didn't always pop in my feed, so I didn't notice when her posts weren't showing up. About another week passed and she still wasn't logged on. I thought maybe she was taking a leave of absence or something was going on, and I figured it really wasn't my place to be like, hey, what are you doing? Why are you not at work? Since we didn't really talk super often, and I also don't know how to navigate that situation without a possible HR issue, or if that would be a possibility. I forgot about the situation for a while until last week when she popped into my head randomly, and I looked at her work icon and it says she's been offline for 40 days. Being judgy, I thought that was a little long for a leave of absence unless something serious happened, so I checked her Facebook. That's when I noticed she hasn't posted anything since September 25th. She went from posting multiple times a day on social media to nothing. Her work icon indicates to me that she's still employed at the company. When you leave the company, they put .zz next to your name so people know you've been terminated. So that lets me know they are anticipating her return, but after 60 days, they consider it job abandonment unless you have something in place like a leave of absence. I do think it's possible she's on a leave of absence, but this next part makes me feel off about the situation. I messaged her on Facebook the other night and just said, hey, just checking on you. Haven't heard from you in a while and haven't seen you logged in at work. No response when she normally responds within an hour or so. So I texted her basically the same thing and the message will not say delivered. But it isn't turning green either, so I know I'm not blocked. I think her phone might be off, maybe it died. Her Facebook is locked down and I can't see her friends list. Only our one mutual who hasn't spoke to her either. I don't think I can ask HR if someone is on leave, and I don't want to jump the gun and I call the police. What is the middle ground here? What should I do, if anything? Redditors would begin to give their opinions as to how to help iMegan find their missing coworker, with one Redditor of the name Comprehensive Edge 578 giving some advice. Their comment is as follows. If she is indeed missing, do you think someone in her life will report her as a missing person? I mean, does she seem like someone who has friends and family, or is she more of a recluse/hermit? If she has a normal social life, I'm sure someone who is actually close to her will/have noticed her missing and report it. If she has friends and or family, I would probably let them deal with it, seeing as you are someone who barely even knows her. There are many reasons why she might have gone silent, including physical health, mental health, family tragedy, burnout, etc. Or simply just taking a leave and wanting to be off of social media for a while. According to your post, you barely ever even talk to her, and there might be a lot going on in her life that she doesn't want to disclose in social media. Your Facebook messages not being delivered can indicate her phone is off, but could also mean she's taking time off of Facebook for whatever reason and has deleted the app from her phone. That wouldn't delete her Facebook account, but it would mean she's not receiving messages or notifications until the next time she logs in. I know because I have done that before. I think this makes sense. It would be good for iMegan to figure out if their missing coworker's family have filed a missing report on them. While in the middle of this process, iMegan could probably figure out if they took a leave of absence to simply take a break from work. iMegan would reply 30 minutes later with, so she's not from the US. All of her family is in Jamaica. She moved here to be with her husband and start a life in the US a few years ago, and she told me she usually contacts them once in a while via texting/phone calls, social media, and visits once a year. And one of the reasons we had discussed hanging out so often is because she described herself as a hermit with no friends to me. Some of her texts did strike me as odd, and she told me she was often lonely and thought I was getting tired of her when I wouldn't respond quick enough. My work has me in front of a screen all day, so I like to disengage sometimes. She said she only has her husband and no social life outside of him. I would like to think that she had someone who would report her as missing, but I truly don't know how much if she was exaggerating by saying she has no one other than her husband. I do know she lives near me. We talked about how close we live to each other when discussing potential plans, but I don't know exactly where. I'm wondering if her manager might know anything. Another comment said to double check with them, which I'm considering, but I kind of want to talk to my manager first to see how to address it without any potential issues. And yeah, I thought about all those reasons too, which is why I'm not immediately running to the police saying she's missing. I'm just really worried. It seems as if it's possible that her missing coworker could have gone on a leave of absence from work to visit her family in Jamaica, or there could be more things going on here. Comprehensive Edge 578 would reply saying if she was missing, her husband would most likely report her missing if this was the case, as well as asking if Megan if her missing coworker has any children and they should talk to a manager about it, which Megan would reply with stating she doesn't have any children unless she was actively pregnant, but knowing what I do know about her, it would have been shared online, but her post history indicated to me she wasn't ready to have children yet, so I don't think so. She almost never talked to me about her husband. I didn't even know she was married until later on after having met her when I talked about a possible double date with my boyfriend and if she was seeing someone. Then she tells me she's married, but that was it. Nothing about her husband's interests, dislikes, things they do together, nothing. Even when she would mark her travels online, he was never tagged and her Facebook says she's single. I say all of that to say that I don't have a good gauge on if I think he did anything to her. It's a weird situation to me, but that doesn't mean something couldn't have been going on. It's possible Megan's missing coworker could be going through personal family troubles and wishes to be kept alone until these things are sorted out, or it could be something entirely different. Before we continue, if you are enjoying this video, consider liking this video and subscribing to my channel. Thank you. A Redditor by the name Mysterious One would make a good point with them stating, well, if it's any comfort, the fact that she has not been delisted as an employee suggests that HR knows that she has a reason to be absent. I suspect if she was missing, they'd have asked other employees, particularly those who have communicated with her via the workplace system. I wouldn't be afraid to ask HR. They won't be able to give you information about a medical condition or other confidential things, but they would be able to say when she is expected to return, or if she is expected to and might be able to give a generic reason, saying whether she may be out of her vacation, personal reasons, medical reasons. This is a good point. If HR at the place Megan works at felt that her missing friend was missing, they probably would have gone around the workplace asking if they have seen them recently. HR might know a reason as to why she is taking a leave of absence. Some Redditors would suggest to conduct a welfare check to go to the missing coworker's last known address and make sure they are okay just in case something is wrong. However, some others would go against this because if Megan's missing coworker is fine, it would be a waste of time and resources to do something like this. Another Redditor would make a simple suggestion with them stating, ask your coworkers and bosses. For all you know, she could be in rehab or visiting her home country and doesn't have internet, and it would be silly to get the police involved before you've checked with her superiors or coworkers if they know what's going on. And don't be afraid to ask around. You might not have been super close with her, but you were close enough to notice that she's gone, and it's normal to wonder where your coworker went when they suddenly stopped showing up to work. If she just abandoned her job without telling anyone, I don't see why HR would have a problem telling you that, especially if you explain that she used to contact you regularly and posted regularly and then suddenly stopped. This is a good suggestion. Simply asking other coworkers and bosses about her missing friend's whereabouts can help tremendously with finding out about her well-being. Redditors would start to ask Megan for updates as they hadn't given an update for weeks after initially making this post. Eventually, Megan would reply to some of these Redditors with a link to an update post. Update: I think my coworker is missing. I have purposely been ignoring update requests because there was no update to give and I promised to give an update when one was available. However, I woke up this morning to have a message sitting in my Facebook Messenger inbox from 2 hours ago from the missing coworker. There were not many details and she kept things kind of vague, but she told me she went off the grid for a while to take care of a few things, and she thanked me for reaching out and said that she will be back at work soon. Her Facebook is still bare, but there's been contact made and that's enough for me to know she's okay. Well, that's good that Megan was able to get back into contact with her missing coworker. Many Redditors would give their opinions as to what happened to her coworker. Some even asking if Megan is sure that it's her missing coworker who is texting back and not someone else. Megan would reply to these comments stating that, no, I'm not entirely sure, but the slang used in the way messages were typed matches how she normally texts. I'm going to be keeping an eye on the work stuff and her Facebook page to see if anything out of the normal pops up and try to maintain some contact via messages, since that's how she responded this time. There hasn't been an additional update from Megan since this update. However, I assume there isn't any further information necessary to update people on Reddit about. Luckily, their coworker was okay at the end of the day. Alright, so that's it. I hope you enjoyed this video. What did you think of this post? Did you think it was real or fake? Personally, I think it has the chance to be real. Let me know what you think down in the comments below. But as always,
Have a nice day.